This is Eagle Eyed Football, where we dissect the game that you love so dearly from an eagle-eyed view. So if you're a GNA merchant, you might not like what we're about to share. But either way, sit back, relax, and get your popcorn ready. Eagle Eyed Football, like, share, subscribe. Right, good evening once again. Welcome to Eagle Eyed Football. And this is another episode of the season review. Tonight's one is Manchester United. So we're going to go straight into it because I feel this is going to be an exciting conversation. This club has been through a roller coaster. Fans are fighting with each other. But you know what? I'm going to do less talking. Let me introduce my guest today. We have DJ.
What's going on, people?
We also have Jesse as well.
Yeah, man, it's good.
No, thank you so much for your time and being able to come onto the channel today. So, let's start off with the owners. All right. Obviously, we had massive talks about the ESL. Last night, I spoke to Arsenal fans and their views on the ESL. But let's not touch so much on the ESL. Let's touch more so on the fact that it seems as if the protests have gone quiet. So what's your viewpoints on that? What's up with you, Deej?
I feel like it's only gone quiet for a little while, if I'm totally honest. I feel like it's going to kick back off again. The only thing that makes me feel that they might stay quiet, or like the United fans might stay quiet, is if the transfer market, if we have a good window, basically. I feel like if we go out and get the players that I want, or that the fans want, which I feel we need minimum 3. Forward, when I say a forward, I mean the right side, preferably, because they've given Cavani another contract, obviously another year. I feel like Greenwood's going to play down the middle eventually. I think maybe this season, if they get the right-sided, I think Greenwood will play. Him and Cavani will rotate down the middle. So I feel like, without going off topic yet, I feel like if they get the signings, I think that might calm the fans down just a little bit. But that doesn't mean that we're like happy with the way things have gone, basically.
Okay, Jess.
Yeah, I agree with that. To be fair, but I don't really think even with the right signings that they'll go quiet, because I think like they've really had enough now. So I think the only reason it's gone quiet is because we ain't had no more home games.
Yeah.
That obviously just been a cup final, but I think there was protests at the last home game before the Wolves game. Was it who did we play before? I can't remember now.
Well, we were supposed to play
Liverpool. Was that the last home game? Fulham. There was protests there, and they had the scarves, like the green and gold scarves, and all that. So I don't think it will go quiet. I think as soon as we got friendlies, like before the season even starts, that will kick off again, man. Definitely.
But that's why I was saying that I feel like the only thing that will make them a little bit more quiet is the signings. If that happens, that's the only thing. But really and truly, like Jess just said, we're tired. You know what I mean?
Was this
like even from when they took over? Like nobody wanted them to take over. Like took over and the club's in debt. It's crazy. Like big Man United.
Yeah, and then you have to, and even when they took over, that's when the breakaway fans started FC United. And it was like the protests then were more hostile than the ones where the guys obviously got onto the pitch. That was way more aggressive. There was more arrests, and that was more violent than the one that actually happened recently. So, and I think even back to like when Fergie was there, I remember like 10 years ago when we played AC Milan, or just over 10 years ago, like Beckham came back and they had all the scarves out then, and there was a big protest that day as well. So yeah, I think everyone's just fed up with them now, man. Like fed up of just like taking money out the club. The net spend has been dreadful the last couple seasons.
Yeah,
and we've been making money. It's just they're just not spending it on the players. They're not spending it on the stadium. Like the stadium's got a big leak in it. Yeah, so when it rains, the stadium's tired, bro.
Tired.
And if it rains, and you're sitting in that corner, it's long for you.
Yeah.
So
it's embarrassing, really, as well. When you think about it, like you think of our status, that's crazy that we're actually talking about stuff like this. Do you know what I mean? I think it's quite embarrassing, really, and upsetting. So yeah, I'll make you right, Jess, to be fair.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that protest, particularly the one before the Liverpool game. What did you make of it at the time? And also, how did it make you feel the way that the media tried to portray you as fans as well during the time?
At the time, yeah, I was a little bit shocked because I didn't think it was gonna be a madness, and I still thought the game was gonna go ahead. But then at the same time, I thought we've done this at the right time. Like, this is a massive game. Like, it's the biggest game for me. It's the biggest game in the country. Like Liverpool, United, Liverpool. So that itself is saying we're tired. Do you know what I mean? We've had enough. Like, that's what I got from it. That's what I took from it.
Yeah, I thought it was the right time. Yeah, I thought it was the right time. I don't have nothing against none of the fans that did it, that got on the pitch or that caused chaos, because protests are different for different people, innit? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you need to do that. Sometimes it's got to get to that for something to happen. And also, if you look at like what that led to, or the events leading up to that protest, that was like more or less egged on by the pundits, egged on by everyone in the media, telling the fans to get behind their clubs and protest against this. So if you're telling the fans to do that, and then some of them do it in their own way, you can't then like ridicule them or criticize them for doing that.
Yeah, it's true. And
I mean, from a Palace perspective, I was happy with the protest because I felt that had this European Super League happened, a club like us would have been finished. Because all the money is really going to be generated in the European Super League. Who's really interested in watching West Brom versus Palace, realistically? It takes a lot for fans to maybe even tune into Man United Palace. Do you understand? Mainly because we keep beating you. But
you know, the whole ESL thing there, it is such a liberty. The more I think about it, it is such a liberty. Like, I think this has been going on for years, like in the background,
100%, yeah.
And
well over 10 years.
Yeah, easy. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was thinking, do you know what? This might be actually a bit mad. Like, all the top teams, but when you actually deep it, yeah, you're like, first of all, like, there's nothing wrong with the Champions League. Nothing wrong.
Yeah,
the only thing that I've got wrong with the Champions League is that I feel like the team that finishes third in the group, go home, bro. Yeah, your time's done.
I absolutely agree with that.
Like, they're going into you've had your chance to win one trophy, because you finished third, like, which is nothing. Now you've got a chance to So that's my only thing with the Champions League. But anyway, there's nothing other than that. There's nothing wrong with it. So, like, and I like the fact that a year comes around and, like, you got Munich, do you know what I mean, United, or you got PSG,
maybe
Real,
maybe,
you know what I mean? It's like it's exciting. Like, we don't want to see that, like, week in, week out. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I just thought that, like I was saying, the more I thought about it, I just thought, nah, this is wrong. And then the worst thing is, like, the players didn't even know. Like, the managers and the players didn't even know. It's like they just landed it on them. Like, if I was a manager, I would be livid. Like, I know they don't come across like that, because obviously it's their owners, they're paying them, etc. But, like, when you actually think about it, like, you're just gonna do that to, like, everybody's team, and they've got to just basically accept it. Like, players have just got to accept it. Do you know what I mean? I just thought that was just a bit too far for me.
Yeah, I agree with most of that, man. And, like, it was just the cheek of it as well, because like, none of the fans knew, none of the players knew, and the way that they structured it just all felt wrong. And it's just a system of, like, playing the same teams week in, week out. Like you just said, DJ, you lose the effect of, like, maybe you might go to the new camp for the semi-final, maybe you might go and play Munich. But not definitely playing them every week.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? And then the other thing, what I think would have happened eventually is this would have only just been the tip of the iceberg. So then eventually they'll be thinking like, "Raw, we can make more money out of this." Then it's like, should we even play in our leagues? Then it would be, why don't we just play each other? And then that's what would eventually have happened. And then that would
have been deaded, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
At first I thought, no, it won't be. But when you actually think about it properly and how it would have gone and how they would have pushed for it to get bigger, and I know they were saying, other teams can get into it, X, Y, and Z, whatever. But when you really think about it, they would have just killed off the Prem. And then you got to start 100%. Thinking, all right, so then what about League One? What about League, you know what I mean, League One and League Two? What about as you go down even more? Like, it doesn't make the Premiership. It just doesn't make the Premiership as attractive. Do you know what I mean?
And also, do you know what the other thing is? You have to remember with that Super League thing, yeah, especially with the American owners, they've all got like American football teams, basketball teams, and baseball teams, and different types of franchises. There was no guarantees that the money that they would have got from the Super League would have even been spent on them clubs. So it would have just been more money hemorrhaged out of them clubs into their other businesses and franchises.
Of course it was.
And if you look at the way that, like, I think Kroenke, I can't remember what team Stan Kroenke owns in America, but he treats it as bad as he treats Arsenal. Yeah, he treats them as bad as he treats Arsenal. Yeah, treats them just as badly. And so there's no guarantees that this extra money, he would have spent it on Arsenal or the Glazers would have spent it on United. There's no guarantees anyway.
Do you know another thing? What I find really annoying is that I understand business. Yeah, I'm not like, I get it, but these men don't really care about our club. Like, they don't
care.
The only one we see now and again is Abramovich, right? I think.
Listen, the Glazers,
the Glazers, you cannot find them for love nor money.
Listen, one of them, I think it's Joel, yeah? He's not been to games, I think, in 16 years or something like that, and he's communicated to the, like the fans forum, yeah? The fans association. He's responded to them twice in the last 16 years. Like, messaged them.
Embarrassing.
And the second time was only because of the Super League to apologise and talk to the fans and appease them and all that. They don't care. They don't even come games.
No.
And I think, like, they don't even really come to England that much. So that's why they can get away with doing all this rubbish, because they don't have to face the brunt of it.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's mad. I know this is going to sound mad here, but you know, that's why I rate Mike Ashley, yeah, because he still rolls up and takes the stick. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and he's down in beer and that. He's down in beer and that and clapping it off.
Yeah. But they hate him, but he's there, isn't it? It's like, yeah, I'm here though.
It's all mad.
Yeah. Last bit on the ESL from me. Like I said, as a Palace fan, if you think of all the teams that may not have been in it, they're all going to just have players that would want to be signed up by those teams to play in it. So let's just hypothetically say Wilfred Zaha. He's thinking, wait, this ESL has been made. What am I doing staying at Palace? You know, I'd rather go and play in the ESL. And it will have that knock-on effect for the rest of the league. As you said, the quality of it will be so poor.
Yeah.
But also, don't even forget, yeah, look at where most of them teams that signed up to it even finished in their leagues. That's the other cheekiness of it. Like, we was nowhere near winning the league, yeah? Arsenal are 8th. Spurs are... Where are Spurs? 7th. Yeah? AC Milan done alright. Inter obviously won their league. Juventus just scraped it on the last day of the season. Like, Leicester won a trophy this season. Atlanta qualified for the Champions League again in Italy. So these teams that are doing well, that weren't even included in it, are being disrespected by these teams that are, like, were not even doing well in their leagues.
Yeah.
Not even competing for any trophies, not being nowhere near any trophies.
You think of, like, Spurs and Arsenal. Even you even said us, Jess. Like, it's true, we were nowhere near winning the league, but you think, like, Arsenal's having a torrid time this season. Like, do you know what I mean? And
they just improved at the end of the season to get 8th.
Crazy. But I think that's all to do with, a little bit of it is to do with obviously the size of the stadiums, how nice the stadiums are, and obviously the money that those so-called big clubs generate. But playing wise, at the moment, who's really like not even Liverpool this season? Do you know what I mean? Like
exactly, yeah.
I just think that whole thing was out of order.
One thing I would say though with the Champions League, they do, and I know they've reformed it, but they need to also sort themselves out as well, UEFA, because they're pocketing way too much money. Because when you saw like the maths behind the Super League, you thought, okay, that kind of makes sense if all of these clubs are getting that much extra money. But then you think to yourself, like, UEFA's in that position where they could do that, but they're pocketing more of the money themselves. When you get to a Champions League final, obviously not when it's COVID, I think the Liverpool one, they got 18,000 tickets for the final, and so did Spurs in a 60,000 seater stadium. So over half the tickets UEFA are giving to their brethren and their sponsors and all this stuff. So they've got to sort themselves out as well and do more for the clubs and give more to the clubs, because they've just been riding the gravy train.
Yeah, the UEFA's got to do a lot though, to be honest.
Yeah,
without getting
one other things as well as
loads of stuff, because it's just not. Yeah. They're not.
They're just as bad. They're just as corrupt.
Yeah, they are. Like you can't really paper over that. The cracks with them, because they need to do more in football. For me, they need to do a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. Even little things like this season with the Chelsea Man City final. In a time of COVID where people aren't really allowed to travel, just have that in England. They could have easily moved that final to England, but let's put it in Portugal, because they probably paid a bit of like P or whatever, and let's get them all to.
They're frauds, bro. Yeah. They're frauds, bro. Yeah. Honestly, man, they will swindle out. They'll find a way to do it. Do you know what I mean? And it's wrong. 100%. I think it's wrong. But like,
not still the owners though. How do you get them out? What's the strategy to get them out?
Stop spending money.
Yep.
Stop spending your P, man. Like I stopped going games like because of them, because I just fed up with them. Like just before COVID, then the last game I went to was Man U Villa, when Jack Grealish whipped it bins like in the not this season before. But for different reasons, not just because of them. But yeah, you got to stop spending money, man, because that's all they care about. Like, because obviously we'll get on to other things later, but they're happy to just finish top 4 because they get the Champions League money every season. They can take it out the club and they can spend it on whatever they're spending on in the other ventures in America. Because if you notice, they only sacked Jose when they thought he couldn't get Champions League football, and they sacked Van Gaal because he didn't get Champions League football, even though they both won trophies. So if you get top 4. And you keep their money coming in, they're happy.
Of course they are. Yeah.
But you stop spending money, stop going to games.
Selling out and stuff like that. Listen, if they're going to keep selling out, I understand that us as fans, like, we love our football and you want to go, like, especially obviously we're down here, but, you know, the ones up there, they're buying everything. They're buying their season tickets. Do you know what I mean? They're making sure they're at the games or whatever else. And I get it. They love, you know, the fans love their club, but at the end of the day, the only way it's going to stop is if people stop going to games and stop spending their money. You know,
it's an easy thing to do though, because let's just say
because people, like I was just saying, like you love your club at the end of the day. You know, you still want to support the players, etc., and the manager, but
I think in the sense of like, let's just say you two said, you know what, I'm done. I'm revoking my season ticket. Don't just find any 2 new people to just take your space. So
yeah, it's with a club like United, it's harder because you've got all the overseas fans, the tourists. Like when you go games, a lot of the people in the state, not a lot, but there's a significant amount of tourists that go to games, and they'll just fly in for the weekend and go and watch United and fly home and like do things like that. So yeah, of course there might be that aspect of, if I don't go, then someone else is just going to go anyway. But yeah, the more people that do that, the better. Continue protesting.
I think it's
anything that makes it.
I think it's the season ticket holders. Those are the ones. But then again, it's hard to give that up. And then you give it up, you lose it. Then you ain't getting it. That it's going to be hard to get it back. Obviously, with the waiting list and all those kind of things. So it's a good question, Rich. But it is hard. Like, it is a hard one. But Jess is right. Like, you just have to stop spending your money.
That's it, man. That's all they care about. And we've seen that. That's why they went into the Super League. That's why they've only really sacked managers that didn't get Champions League. It's because for them, all they care about is that Champions League money coming in, because they've already made plans for it to hemorrhage out, take out the club. So
yeah.
Do you know what? I think, I know it sounds mad here, but if I feel like if a lot of the owners were at these games all the time, and just showing their support, and like, even if they were faking it, I know it sounds mad, but do you know what I mean? Like, even if they were faking it, but they were there all the time, so they could have a little bit of fight for themselves and say, no, but we're at every games. We want to see us progress. We want to see how well the team's doing, etc. I feel like the fans would, maybe stay off their back a little bit more, but because they're nowhere to be seen, they're giving the impression like they don't care. No one. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they just don't care. So,
they don't.
What's that, Jess?
Because they don't care.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Because
so that's what I'm saying. I felt like if they were there, then maybe, well, all right, maybe people might not think they do, but they're saying, listen, we're here. We're coming to the games. Like. We're here every week, or at least every other week, showing our support. You know what I mean? We're back in the club, this, that, and the other. But these guys ain't even doing that.
And it's the same. When you look at that, the Chelsea, like Roman, the only reason he's not at their games is because he's not allowed in the country.
Of course,
he was at the Champions League final.
There you go. Jumping up and down in that.
Yeah.
And to be fair to him, he was at most games anyway.
Yeah, he was when he was allowed here. Yeah, he was allowed. He was at most of the games. Because he cares, though. Yeah. And when the team's not doing well, he does something about it. He puts money into the club. He spends on players. We don't do that. We're just about net spending, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Well, let's move it on from there. Last bit from me regarding the owners. Yes, I'm a Palace fan, but for the sake of football, Glazer's out, Kroenke's out. Who else are these playing? Get Levy out and Enoch out as well.
Mm.
They're all Bagans. They're winning the game. Absolutely winning the
100%.
Game. And such. Right, so we'll move into the highs and lows for you. What are your highs of the season? What are the lows? I know obviously one low is your 3-1 defeat to Palace at Old Trafford. So what are your highs?
He loves it. He loves it.
I have got this season.
You got to get that.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah, you got to get that in, bro. You got to get that in.
What are your highs of the season? Highs and lows.
My highs is there has been progress. Like we have.
Oh, has it?
I don't like. People are talking about we've closed the gaps and all that and whatever else on Liverpool, obviously because they won it last season. But I haven't even looked at that. I'm more looking at our style of play. There's a little bit more of an identity. There's more of an identity, no?
Yeah, you reckon?
What, you don't think there's more of an identity? So how do you feel like we play then?
I just feel like whatever happens, isn't it? That's what I feel like it is to me. But no, continue. I'll talk. Continue.
I feel like our style of play has got better.
This guy's eating popcorn.
But it's hard, man.
So when you say that you think the style of play is improved, what parts of it, or what do you think's improved?
I think I mostly think of the front players, and the interchange, and I think that's quite good. And when it's improved, I'm not saying it's the best because it isn't, but it has improved. I actually feel like Maguire's got got better. Yeah, he has got better, and it's just showed how towards the end of the season it went to pot. He's out a few games, and it's all gone to pot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Can I ask a question about that?
I haven't got. I'm not going to go on like I've got a lot of highs. I've got a few lows.
Steve, let me ask you a question about that Maguire situation. Now, I agree. It did look like it looked really bad when he weren't in the lineup. But is that due to the players not good enough, like let's say the Bailly's, the Lindelofs, the Tuanzebe's, or do you feel it's because minus Lindelof, Bailly and Tuanzebe rarely get picked? I mean, they have injury issues as well, but they don't play enough games.
Yeah, exactly. They don't play enough games. Bailly, oh God, man. I feel like that. I look at him sometimes and I think this guy can actually could actually be okay if he wasn't so rational, like, and just fly in. He just does mad stuff. I can't take him anymore. Like, I can't, because he just does too much mad stuff. Like, I've had enough of it. Axel, he just needs more games. There's potential there. Do you know what I mean? I won't write him off. And Lindelof, yeah, he likes to defend, but he's just not United quality for me, man. They're just not United quality. Maguire's got better. At first, I was a bit suspect about him. I don't think he's like great one-on-ones. I think that's what we need. We need someone with pace and someone who's good with at one-on-ones at the back. Because if there's someone pacey, boy, later we're in trouble. We're in trouble, bro. But do you want me to go to my lows?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what burnt out my chest.
Go on.
See the Leicester game, yeah?
Quarter-final.
Yes. You know how mad I was? That's when I was mad with Ollie. Because I was thinking, is this guy serious? Like what? Oh, honestly, I can't. That one got me. What
did you do the most about that game?
Why did we need 775 changes? Like, we didn't need that many changes. It was a joke, bro. It was a joke. Like, you don't need to make that many changes. It's a quarter-final against Leicester. Like you need to win a trophy. Like, because I'm not being funny. If it's not looking good for Ollie October, yeah, I'm sorry, come Christmas, yeah, it's looking a bit mad for him. If he won a trophy, yeah, then he's got a fight, basically. Do you know what I mean?
A bit of leeway, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's got something to say. Listen, well, I think I deserve a bit more time.
Like, the bank sort of thing.
Yeah, so that was one of my lows, definitely. Also, the way we went about the Europa final, I just think, like, for the players that we had on, even if I just say three, if I say Pogs, Bruno, and Rash, yeah, because Cavani looked like he wanted to try a thing. Do you know what I mean? But those other three, I was thinking, come on, man, one of you step up. Like, one of you have to step up. Like, Rashford was just having one of them games. He like, towards the end of the season anyway, you could see it was either fatigue or he's carrying an injury. He just wasn't the same. But you expected Bruno and Pogba maybe to come up with something, especially against just like Villarreal. Like, so that peed me off, to be honest, bruv. I'm not gonna lie.
Jesse,
I know Jesse wants to ring it off, you know.
No, do you know what? Like, obviously, highs. Obviously, it's good that second place finish is decent considering the situation. I think we improved points wise on the season before, so that's also good. And we was comfortably in the top four, wasn't we, for most of the season? So that's also good. Like, we was never really under pressure in the league. Few embarrassing moments, like obviously the Spurs game. I think when we lost to Sheffield United, that was one of the games that I was fuming.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the way we lost that game, and just certain man were just walking. Yeah, that game really pissed me off. But and then the same two lows, man. Because at the end of the day, man, that's good progress. But we need to win stuff now, man. We need to win trophies. It's been 4 years now. This is like obviously the 5th season now. Yeah, is it 5th? Yeah, 5th season not winning a trophy. That's too much now, man. Like,
do you know what? Sorry to cut you, Jess. Yeah. Do you know what about the winning the trophies is like that? If they just won one of them, I feel like it's a big turning point.
A massive difference.
It's a massive turning point I think for any club, but especially for United, trying to get back to where and trying to reach the heights that we were. Like, getting that next trophy, you would have been like, right, you know what I mean? We can see progress. We've finished higher in the league. They've won a trophy. Like, what next? Like,
yeah.
If we don't make signings, I personally think we're coming up short again. Sorry to cut you, Jeff.
Yeah. No, it's the same. Yeah, and it's like the semi-final against Man City. Obviously, when you lose to Man City, it's kind of expected. But at the same time, we beat them in the league, so we can beat them. But again, same thing with the selections. He just makes these mad choices on the day, and you think, why have you done that? The Leicester game, I think one of my peeves with him is Fred. So, like, he gives away the ball on the edge of our box when we're playing out from the back, which we shouldn't be doing. And every time Fred gives the ball away, it more or less leads to a goal. And it's just little things like that, like in that game, but too many changes. The Europa League final, like, again, the same thing what Deej said. I wouldn't have went with that selection. But even if you did go with that selection, you can see it's not working. Just change it, man. Like, we need to get in the game. It doesn't matter if the bench isn't as good as this starting lineup, which it isn't. Like, if you look at most finals when teams win games, like Origi scored against Spurs, didn't he, in the Champions League final? He never starts for Liverpool. Or you could think of loads of super subs that have come on won you games. So maybe Dan James would have got a winner, or maybe Van der Beek scores a goal. Someone, maybe Juan Mata gets a little farewell goal. Like, someone could have came on, done something different to what they were trying to do on the pitch. I'm not going to hammer Rashford because he's definitely carrying a few different injuries, because he's been playing like off the ball for the last 3 months now. But I think again he's been overused this season. Same with, I think Greenwood pulled out the squad for underlying injuries, and there's a few men in our squad like that. They've just been overplayed and they're burnt out now and they've got injuries. But yeah, just his tactics in that final, that just annoyed me. But I'm not surprised either. I wasn't really going into this is going to sound mad or not even pessimistic, because I wanted us to win it, but I didn't believe we was going to win that final, man. Like, I couldn't say 100% with my chest, like, yeah, we're going to win this. Like, I didn't even feel like that on the day. And even watching it, you could see the way it was unfolding, thinking, this ain't going to go to
the final. Sorry, Rich, just before he finishes, do you see the final? The no substitutions just lets you know, like, he's got no trust in those other players. Like, in a big game. Like, he's got no trust in them. You know what I mean? He could have given Mata a little. Do you know what I mean? I would have probably brought him on it, if any, and Donny. Yeah. But to not bring on anyone and then bring on Fred of all of them, the Pogba.
Listen,
he's a little.
See
bit
that
mad.
change? You see all of them. That I think. What are you doing, man? Yeah. And even that is like kind of. You're trying to chase the game when you're getting a winner. You don't make like-for-like changes when take some risk as well. Like, take a bit of risk. Like, take a defender off, bring on Mata. Like, do something different.
Yeah, of course.
Overload the top of the pitch, innit? Like, we need to win. Like, we need to score a goal. Like, you're doing like-for-like. What is Fred going to do? That proper... what is he going to do? That it's
the ball away. Oh, that's what he's going to do.
That's it. That's 100%. He'll win it back and give it away. That's his game.
Right, we're going to move on to the players in a minute. But you did mention progress. So I want to ask you a question. Now, try and take your Manchester United bias out of this. Who's actually had the better season? United finishing second, or Liverpool finishing third, 5 points behind you?
I think it's the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's the same. I mean, I said to my brethren the other day, you see, if you finish second, third, fourth, and you don't win nothing, you all had the same season. Because if you finish second and you wasn't actually in the title race, like you weren't really challenging like us, then our season isn't really any different to whoever finished third or fourth. I know they scraped it on the last day of the season, but it's kind of more or less the same, man.
Yeah, I feel Liverpool done obviously well because I was thinking, boy, they're looking at 7th or 6th the way they were going. So they done well, even though it pees me off to say it, like, and they got the top wall. But they done well to finish. The only thing with United is I feel like we kind of like switched off the last 3 games because we would one because obviously the Europa League final, and I feel like obviously I said like the Maguire injury, obviously you can tell that played its part, but I feel like we switched off, and I think we ran out of steam a little bit as well. I feel personally, I think we ran out of steam.
We did, but we ran out of steam because he ran them into the ground, didn't it? Yeah. Because, like you said, you don't trust the rest of the players, or he's not even trying to use the squad.
No.
he burnt the players out that he needed the most. So when it comes to them type of big games, they couldn't like Rashford and Greenwood. They're all carrying injuries. They're not really going to play that well, and they're tired. You can see it in some of the games, like with Bruno. He's just like he looks done. Like he looks tired by the end of the season. And then even when you look at, like, sorry to cut you, look, when you look at, like, say, other managers, every manager's got players in their squad that they don't really trust in it, but they gotta just use them anyway for give them confidence, but also give their main guys a rest, innit? So you gotta make everyone feel good, innit? Give everyone like game time so that when you actually need them, they can do something for you. So even if you don't trust
other people come back hungry. I feel like it makes you've been left out a game or two or whatever, or you just been left out a game and you know what I mean, the other guy's done well, he's played well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I need to I'm vexed because like I want to come back in and do a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like that's in every game.
But that's why I reckon Luke Shaw had such a brilliant season, because when we signed Telles, he's under real pressure now. So it's like, okay, he's just signed a left back. He ain't playing left wing. He's definitely playing left back. So now I've got to up my game. Now I've got to do extra. I've got to step up and be consistent. And that's part of the reason why I think Luke Shaw's had such a brilliant season. But if we had that around the pitch, or even if, like, because Ollie doesn't rate Telles, we can tell by the way that he's used him. But just to have that there, and you bring him in every now and again, it keeps Luke Shaw on his toes. And if we had that around the pitch, I think we would have finished the season strongly.
Yeah,
you know, if you use Van der Beek,
you look at City, and like when we're doing our fantasies, we don't know, you don't know who to put in, because Pep will just change up. But that's because he's got the good players, but they're all hungry. Like Mahrez won't play, you know what I mean? And then he's flinging in Bernardo on Mahrez's side or something like that. So Mahrez is like, wow, what? Do you know what I mean? Or
hunger,
Gundogan won't play one game, and then so everyone's starving. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's 100%. Starving.
That's how you need to keep them, But and what makes it even worse for me is that, like, some guy, like, say with Van der Beek, like, he's just not used them at all. Even with, he could have played in the 2 in midfield, he could have played number 10, he could have played a few different positions. He could play 6 as an 8 or as a 10, And when you're thinking of someone like Fred and McTominay constantly starting ahead of him, it doesn't even make any sense.
Just jars me, to be honest.
It's stupid. Especially when you see, like, Fred and McTominay, like, on the edge of our box, and they just, like, McTominay get it, shit the bed, pass it back to the centre-back. Or Fred will just lose it there. And you think, you just need someone that's a bit comfortable there on the ball.
What do you think of, even you, Rich, what do you think of McTominay?
Don't get me started.
No, I want to hear what you think of
McTominay. McTominay's poor. Poor. Fred's poor as well. But the thing is, I think Fred gives more. Yes, McTominay can give. Hear me out on this. McTominay does come up with the odd goal, but that's just him approaching the box late. Other than that, I don't think he contributes. He hides, in my opinion. I know Fred makes a lot of mistakes, but he doesn't hide. He always wants the ball. And that's where I feel, and that's how I'm looking at it, as obviously from an eagle eye, no pun intended, but I prefer players that want to get on the ball. You know, when I see McTominay play, he likes doing that little roll over the top of the ball with his foot. And most of his passes, to me, are sideways or backwards.
They're safe.
Very, very safe passes. Where Fred is more risk averse, but may lose the ball a bit more. But you're getting progressive up the field. So that's why I would say I'd favour Fred over McTominay, personally.
See, I think I prefer is a strong word, but I prefer McTominay over Fred.
Yeah, same.
Fred does the things that you said, but I think Fred's best, that's not even his best like aspect of his game. I think his best aspect of the game or attribute is winning the ball back for the team. But not necessarily, like, he's good at pressing, innit? Engaging. Like, he's good at winning it higher up the pitch. So I would never play him as a DM, or, you know, I hate that, I don't really like that word, but he's not really good at it. I don't think he's good at, you know, getting the ball, getting on it, and getting us up the pitch. He usually gets the ball and
Can I
loses
say
it.
something on that, though?
So
I think he could work there if he had a better midfielder next to him. And this is where I feel the issue is where Donny should be playing.
Yeah, but
this is the thing. But this is the thing, yeah. If he had a better midfielder, meaning someone that can get the ball deeper, he wouldn't be playing.
Not necessarily.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because it would be.
But from what I can see, it looks like, all right, Fred wins the ball deep, and his option is McTominay. If he had a 5-year pass to a Donny, or even a Pogba, because I look back at that Seville game, Fred and Pogba were phenomenal. It's just unfortunate you didn't take your chances that semi-final in the Europa League. Fred and McTominay Fred and Pogba were unreal. They literally ran the whole midfield. I think in like for the long term United, if they want to compete in there, it would have to be Pogba and someone that can play deeper. If Pogba's going to stay, that's what I think it should be. I think Fred is a squad player more or less. McTominay is a squad player that can score a goal.
That's the thing. This is
they're not. That's it. They're squad players. They shouldn't be starting week in week out because they're just, especially in different ways, they're not good enough. And together, they're a calamity.
Let me ask some questions about players then. We'll go into players, then we'll go into Oli because that will be very interesting. Regarding McTominay and Fred, why do you think Oli persists with them?
Say that again.
Regarding McFred, why do you think Oli persists with them?
Because they win the ball back.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And they're leggy.
They look busy.
They look busy.
Yeah,
they're leggy.
They look busy.
They get around the pitch. Do you know what I mean? I feel that's what it is. They're very leggy. Get around the pitch, win the ball back. I just don't think they're good enough. I like McTominay, and I want him to stay around, but he's a squad player. I think he could be a Fletcher, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Fred, I'll go through stages where I think, do you know what? You want to give him another chance, or he'll be playing all right, and then he just puts us in danger, man. They're giving the ball away, like Jess was saying, he'll collect the ball off the centre back, he'll try and come out, and then he's just playing a mad pass further into the midfield, and then bang, that's it. We're under the cosh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Next one's Donny.
Squad players, man.
Next one's Donny. Do you want him to stay, and do you think he stays?
Of course, I want him to stay.
I want him to stay, but I get the feeling that Oli didn't want him. I don't think it was Oli's signing. I think this is also part of the problem, obviously, with the board and with Ed Woodward, is that I feel like Ed makes a lot of signings that he thinks, or maybe he gets a call off an agent and he's heard of a player, and because he probably watches the Champions League and he's seen Donny and he thought, he'll be good for United. Yeah. So he signs him. Same with Fred. Same with a few of the other players. Jose Mourinho didn't want Fred. I don't think Oli wanted Van der Beek, and this is also a problem. So doesn't matter what I think of Oli, if Oli doesn't want a player, we shouldn't be signing him.
No,
and that tells me he didn't want Oli. I think Donny's a terrific player. I think he could be great for United if he's used. If he just gets minutes, we'll see that he's levels, especially above them two.
But he should have got that this season, man. He should have got that this season. There was enough games for him to get that this season. I don't understand why he just left man in the cold like that.
Is that a fair enough argument, though, to say, I didn't want this player, so I'm not going to use him? Surely on the training field, you'd see that he's better than what he has. To utilise him a bit more.
Yeah, but I think sometimes it's like that for a manager, though. I think you're not having certain man. I think that's the thing. You see in management, there's a player there. You don't rate him. You're never having him. You're not. It doesn't matter if you you ain't got a lot of options. You look and turn to him. If and that's what I get. Yeah, that's what I feel like Oli is with him. Even if you think a Europa League final, he brought on Fred before him. That tells you everything.
And we need a goal.
Yeah.
Madness.
So I can't, and that's why I can't hammer him for his season because he didn't get enough minutes.
No.
And I can't. There's nothing to critique him on because he just didn't even really play.
No.
Absolutely. Paul Pogba. Does he stay?
Who knows? But I think he sees out his contract because just simply the simple fact that the clubs that want him are broke. So I think he stays by that regard anyway. I don't know if he signs a new contract. Probably he'll stay for the season, and I think he does what Wijnaldum just did, and probably signs for free for one of them teams next season.
Yeah, because some will say that he's not really fulfilled his time.
Blows hot and cold, man. 1 minute he looks absolutely unreal and unplayable, and you're like, this guy is a joke. And then the next thing, he just looks average.
But at the same time, would you say that the club's his ambition?
I'm not going to say that they haven't matched his ambition, yeah. But one thing I'll say is when he plays centre mid, yeah. So you need good partners in there. He's never had that at the club. So he's played with like Fellaini, then he's played with Matic with no legs. Then he's played with Fred that gives it away, McTominay that gives it away. He's just played with people that give the ball away.
Yeah,
and he's not really had that balance.
It's only Bruno now that you can see they're trying to. Do you know what I mean?
Do something, yeah. So it's a bit of a mixture, I think, with him, because when he's been on it, he's been really good. But you know, if you're playing with these type of guys in there,
it's hard.
It doesn't matter, does it?
Nah.
Quick fire one on this one. Dean Henderson or David De Gea?
Henderson. I'm tired of that guy.
I'm going to go Henderson because I feel like, listen, I love De Gea, and he has been brilliant for us, but you can't have, we're going into like, 3 seasons now where this season he hasn't been as bad, but the last 2 seasons, some of the stuff he was doing, it's like, boy, like we're in big trouble all of a sudden. Do you know what I mean? So I would go with Henderson. My only problem with Henderson is, which a lot of people saw in the Liverpool game, is that he doesn't come off his line quick enough. Like he was glued to his line, that Salah goal, and I feel like obviously that will put him in trouble. But other than that, he looks like a safe pair of hands. I like him.
Good. He's got good feet as well.
He is a good goalkeeper, and he's got good feet.
I like Henderson.
Yeah, I like him. I do. I think he deserves to be our number 1 now.
Yeah, I think part of that thing of like coming off the line, I think it's just down to confidence.
Of course, it is.
I think when you're rotating goalkeepers, I think it's a mad position to be rotating because they need minutes. Like they need to be playing consistently. They need the rhythm of playing with the same centre backs and the same fullbacks. They need to get used to playing with each other. And like he was just used all over the place. And when he did come into the team, he's playing with like Ollie would rotate the centre backs, he'd rotate the fullbacks. Every time he's probably playing, he's playing with different defenders. So
he got a good. What did he get? The last he must have had.
Yeah, he got a good run.
Good 10 games. He must have easy there. And because De Gea was playing Europa.
Yeah, he had a good run, but like I feel as though I'd give him it from the start of the season if it was me. I feel like I agree with what you said about De Gea as well. I think he's made too many mistakes now, and do you know what I think it is with him? I think he's kind of not bored here, but like I think he's been there so long now. He's won everything. I feel as though he's got a bit complacent, and I feel as though part of it is that I don't really know if he actually wants to be there. Like I get that vibe of him, like he's on a lot of money. He knows he's gonna play, and he's just kind of like.
Just going through the motions, innit?
Go through the motions, he's just there. I don't think he rates who's playing in front of him. And I feel like he's just let himself get complacent. And I don't really think he's 100% committed. But he's on so much money that no one's really going to come in for him. You know?
Okay, 3 more. Marcus Rashford. Where does he play next season, though?
He has to play on the left. All this rap business that Ollie's doing, playing around, like why don't play him? Like he's not effective on the right. Like the game's changed. He's not going to go down and cross it in. Like it's not that. Do you know what I mean?
But Pogba's been playing well on the left, though. Pogba's been playing well on the left.
Yeah,
but he should be in the middle, man.
He's got to be in the middle of the park, man.
Yeah,
McTominay and Fred's your starting midfield.
Yeah, of course, but Pogs has to be in the middle, and he's got to play Rashford on the left.
100%. Yeah, I think, you know, for me personally, I used to not get onto him, but I was critical of him, his decision making at times. Yeah, when he's like, sometimes he should pass when he shoots, especially on the counter attack. Like, he makes mad decisions sometimes. But last 2 seasons, he scored 20+ goals in it. Got a lot of assists. I ain't got no problems with him. My problem with him is nothing to do with football. He just probably needs to show a bit more courage and say to Ollie, look, I'm injured, I can't play today. Like, I think that's his only problem. Like, he's ran himself into the ground to the point where he can't even play well. So it's like, just say you're injured. And
I've spoken to some United fans, and I've said that his career could end by 28.
Oh yeah, I agree. I said that to one of my brethren because the injuries that he's picking up now.
You see the back one,
bro. You see how young he is for that injury? That's a madness.
It's not a rush team as well.
And see the way he plays, it's not all based on his speed, but it's predominantly speed based.
Yeah.
And if he loses that, like, there's not a lot left there.
No.
You know, so he's just got to be careful in that. He's got to, like, have a bit more courage in them situations and say, no, I'm not going to really play through. If it's one game, like a final, innit? Like, you crack on with it. You crack on, like, just play 60, 70 minutes, like, the game's over, come off. But not for months. Don't play months with injuries. Like, it's not going to...
But again, that goes back to showing you how short we are. And the trust that he has in his... in the rest of our players. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely,
so I think that's what it is. It's a bit of both. But you're right. But no, I won't get onto him. I'm a fan of Rashford. I like him. I just think he needs to play from the left and be
100%
direct, because sometimes he's not direct enough. Do you know what I mean? He is, but there's times where you're like, bro, stick to your game. Run at man. Like, that's you. Run at him, take him on and shoot, or get one across the box. You know what I mean? That's what sometimes I get a little bit frustrated with him. But other than that, I think he's a player, man. I like Rash.
Too much players I want to touch on. Bruno, he's had a fantastic season. He's been brilliant since he joined the club. But there's starting to be a thing that's creeping around that he's not a big game player. As in, like, he doesn't perform well in the big games. So-called, like, top 6 and, like, now obviously the Europa League final. And so, like, what's your views on that?
Go on, Jess.
No, I think he's done his job. Like, I feel like you can paint that big game, like, big 6 thing with loads of players. There's loads of I could name loads of men that can fall into that category because those games are tough. So I don't really have an issue if he's not bagged against City or bagged against Liverpool, and he's bagged against both of them, by the way. But I don't have an issue with that, man. He scored 27 goals, innit? Like, got 17 assists. He's a massive goals out the team. If you take them goals out the team, Man United would be probably where Arsenal is. So I can't really stand here and criticize him.
Yeah.
You know,
he's a massive reason why we've progressed. Massive reason why. Again, goals and assists. I think he's a player. He can play football. He's a very good footballer. Do you know what I mean?
But my only issue with him sometimes, is not, and it's not a big game thing. It's when the game's not going well. Sometimes he just tries to do too much.
Too much. I agree.
It'll be like when we need a goal, like he'll be like getting it off Luke Shaw and running like at left back and then
left back, coming up the field,
stay in your areas. Like, you don't need to do any of that. Like, and then he's trying to like hit. It's just relax. Like, be a bit more patient in them situations. But
he's one of them players, though, Jess. He's one of them players. Like, you used to get that with, like, I'm not comparing him, but you used to get that with Wazza. Like, the game's Wazza's coming down. He's taking the ball off Rio, bro. And but
that's what you don't want it, though. But that's what I'm saying.
It's because they're the kind of players that have to be on the ball. And, like, if it's not going our way, it's like, I need to affect this game now. Do you know what I mean? I need to put my, like, show a bit of balls and do something here. So that's what I feel. That's what I feel like he actually does. He will just come and drop too deep for it, and try and make something happen from like you said, from left back. Do you know what I mean? He's taking off Shaw and he's trying to do something where you're like, just Bruno, just stay in the pockets, like, and we'll get the ball to you.
And the other thing, you see the thing with Bruno as well. I clocked here. He's very good at making late runs into the box. So if he's not doing all that foolishness, like coming getting off the defenders and actually waiting there, he'll get more goals as well if he just did that in them situations.
Yeah.
Because remember the game against like Everton. Like late run into the box, he scores. I think the game against Roma makes a late run into the box and scores. So, like, if he just adds a bit more patience to his game in them situations, he probably would even touch 30 this season.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and look, he's not everyone's type of number 10, isn't it? Like, he's not like a De Bruyne or he's not like these other guys. But he's at what he does, he's very good.
Yeah.
Cool. Last player. What do you do with Anthony Martial?
I'd keep him. Squad. I'll keep him. You can't, like, we're trying to catch City. Do you know what I mean? Like, keep him. Like, make him hungry. Do you know what I mean? Make Rashford work and vice versa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because I feel like he was one of the guys that I'm a big fan of Martial, but he pissed me off this season in a few different games, because
honestly,
I don't care. I don't care about. I think he finished with 7 goals. I don't care about that because you can have a bad season, you can have a goal drought. Things happen in football. Confidence is low. Things can happen. But I remember that. I think it was a Sheffield United game, man. He's losing the ball. He's walking around the pitch. Even when we're trying to attack and get a draw in that game. He's just on the edge of the box, like get in the box, man. Make a run, show some desire or something, innit? But
he's very nonchalant, man. Very. That's what gets on a lot of United fans' nerves. Like, he's very blasé. He don't look interested. Do you know what I mean? I know he's got one of them faces. He's got a straight face anyway, but it's just his body language is wrong. I feel like he doesn't look certain games. Again, like what Jess was just saying, like he just don't look hungry, man. Do you know what I mean? And fans don't want to. We don't want to see that. Do you know what I mean? Even us when we play, if one of us ain't pulling our weight, do you know what I mean? Like you're onto him. You're onto man.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's my only problem with Martial. I think if he gets a good run, or whether he's a squad player or whatever, I think he contributes and gets us goals, man.
I agree, and I agree with what DJ said, and also, simple fact is, like, we got way many more issues to deal with and address right now than if we keep him or not. Because as you said, he can just compete with Rashford for the left. He can cover if there's a proper crisis down the middle as well. So I feel like, at least for the next 2 seasons, I don't think we need to worry about that side of the pitch, especially when they're both fit. And there's just too many other stuff like holes that we need to plug before dealing with what we do with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Last bit before we delve into the manager. Put yourself in Solskjaer's shoes. 3 in, 3 out. Who would it be?
My 3 is Marquinhos. I want to say Rice, but I like Ndidi, man.
Yeah.
And Sancho.
Yeah. I was gonna say Varane or Marquinhos, Rice or Ndidi, and Sancho. They're the positions that United need to deal with right now.
Have to.
Because that gives the team balance everywhere.
And when I say Sancho, and I know you probably agree with me, Jess. When I say Sancho, that don't mean I don't want, like, I don't rate Greenwood. I just, going back to what I said earlier, I feel like him and Cavani are going to play through the middle this season. So I need somebody else on the right. And then if Sancho gets injured, if we get Sancho and he gets injured, then you move Greenwood out there. Do you know what I mean? And you leave Cavani. Do you know what I mean? And again, going back to Martial, you can move Martial into the middle or whatever.
Options.
So you've got the options there. Do you know what I mean? So definitely either Marquinhos. I would take Varane as well. He's a player. Ndidi or Rice, and
yeah,
I love Sancho. Sancho's my first one that I want, and then I would say defense. Yeah, last one I'd go with is midfield. I know we just been giving it.
But
the reason why is because, like I said earlier, we've got no pace at the back.
See, and that's why.
Go on.
See, my first one, they're the exact same positions I'll do if we could have 3. But I look at, if we only had 2 or 1, we need a centre back. Like, I think we need that more than the other 2 positions by a mile, because in the league we conceded, I think, 43 goals, and we keep conceding the same type of goals as well. And then I can't stand it. I shouldn't say this shit, but I can't stand Lindelof, man. Like, he does my head in, and he gets bullied week in, week out by everyone. Like, it's not just guys that are quicker than him. He gets out muscled as well. He gets beaten in the air. In every way a centre back can get beaten, it happens to him in a game every week. And I remember even the Fulham game a few weeks ago. I think they was given it wasn't a debut, but I think his name's Carvalho. He's 18 or something like that. I think he's a number 10. He was playing just off the striker, and he's bullied Lindelof. And I think this guy was small as well. He's a youth player, and he's bullied Lindelof. Yeah, and he didn't score the chance, but I just thought, I'm just tired of this guy, man.
He's not United. He's not United, and that's our problem. We've got too many that are not United at the moment. Like, and I just.
But you see the mad thing with Lindelof. He's not United. I don't even think he's Premier League standards. That's the other thing. Like, I just don't think he's good enough. Like, if you put him in any team, they would have problems. So yeah, for me, maybe he's a bit. And then even when we play out from the back with him, it's all panic stations. He gets the ball, he doesn't even want it. It's like you're giving him something hot at the oven with no gloves on, and it's like, and he just like panics.
You really don't like him, right?
No, I can't stand him, man. But so if he was only going to get one, it would definitely be a centre back. But then I think for the same reasons what we were talking about earlier, I think it's so important that we also sort out the midfield, man, and get like an Ndidi or even Basuma as well as Rice. So you have 3 different options. I think Basuma would probably be the cheaper of the 3 because we really need to address that in there, man. And then icing on the cake would be a Sancho on the right.
Yeah.
But I think, man, we can't. If you look at like the effect that Ruben Diaz had on City, and then even what Van Dijk done to Liverpool, we can't. We're not going to win anything with that defense like that, regardless of who the manager is. That needs to be sorted.
And it doesn't have to be like someone who's won bundles of stuff. We just need someone who's a leader, who's a wit, like, who wants to win. Do you know what I mean? Who wants to defend, like, who's not scared of defending. That they want to defend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because even what you said, like what you said, Deej, about Bailly, like, his erratic like behaviour is mad sometimes. Even in the final, there's a ball that. There's a ball that comes into the box.
Though, he actually makes you laugh.
Because you can't. I was watching it, and I started laughing. I was like, "What is he doing?" A ball came in the box, So instead of getting his body in the way or trying to header it, he tried to bicycle kick.
Yeah,
he tried to bicycle kick. It's like, bro, what are you doing here? Like, you can't. Like, what are you doing?
Header it, bro. Yeah, honestly,
just intercept it, let it go for a corner. He's trying to bicycle kick across. I thought, no, this guy is crazy, bro.
On behalf of AFCON nations, I do want to apologise for our African defending.
But they're not even all that. No, but it's just him. It's just him.
I watch the African Nations Cup, bro. You see, it happens all the time.
I do actually call it AFCON, by the way.
The 50-50 tackles in the African Cup of Nations are nuts, isn't it? They're not even 50-50s. They're like 90-10s.
The goalkeepers, you see the goalkeepers. The goalkeepers are they're something else.
Crazy,
just quickly, without a reason, who would be the first 3 out the door? And try to avoid the obvious, like the Phil Jones and Pereiras.
Lindelof.
I would probably say Dan James. He's not United. Never been United. I don't care how fast he is. Yeah, he's never been United. That's a good question. I actually haven't thought about that. Dan James is the only one I want gone. I'm not having Lindelof, but he's not as bad as Jess made out. I know he does. He's not great. But Jess just slewed him, boy.
He's dreadful.
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to come back to that. Jess, go on. Dash out Lindelof. Then after him, go on.
After him, it's interesting, you know.
You wouldn't let Dan James go. I think he needs to go. He needs to go and play. He can't. He's not United. He can't play there. Not yet. Anyway.
He needs to be coached, man. I feel like
he does. Yeah, but he's not for now.
Not at us, obviously, but like that was obviously some mates rates business. Giggs said, "Oh yeah, look, take him." It's all madness, but he could probably go. And they need to, you know what, as well, this Matic and Mata situation, I like Mata, he's a good guy in that, but like, if you're not going to play him, innit, like, just go in it. Like, there's no point. You could pick anyone that didn't really, apart from Van der Beek, most of the man that was on the bench, any of them could go, to be quite honest with you, because they're not good enough. Tellers is just erratic. Like, I think he's good. He's got good crossing, good at set pieces, but he's not a defender. I remember the game when what game? Roma, when Oli made the changes, and he took off Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, and the floodgates just opened. But they're not, again, like same thing what I said about Martial earlier. I don't see Tellez as an immediate problem like right now, but like Brandon Williams as well. Like, he's just rapid with no tech. Like, he's just there because he come through the academy and he's quick. He's quick because I saw a highlight of him, even playing for the under-23s last season, and he made an error that led to a goal. I was like, bro, you played in the first team now. You're supposed to be one of the guys here. Like, cool. you're causing errors that lead to goals here. So, but definitely, any of them, but mainly Lindelof. So we can go.
Massive Lindelof slander, boy. Right, before we close the show, Ollie. Now I'm going to say my piece, and then I'm actually going to leave the stream and let you lot discuss this, because I know DJ's Ollie in, Jess is Ollie out. And you lot can have a discussion or an argument. It's up to you.
Do you know what's mad? I'm not really, I kind of, like, I've argued with everyone, innit, about this for like the last 2 years. But...
Well, let's see what DJ had to say about it as well, to be fair. But my point on Ollie is I've heard a lot of United fans say that he's not been backed, he needs players. My question is, shouldn't he have a style of play first before he gets the players? Or does he actually need the players to have his style of play? So I'm going to leave you with that. I'll come back in about 5 minutes.
Go on, Jess.
No, I think he has got a style of play. I think it's what we've seen for the last couple of years. I don't think there's any extension to the counter-attack. Obviously, we're devastating on the break, and he has added that back to the team, like how he was of old.
That's what I was saying at the beginning, Jess. That's what I meant.
Yeah, he's added that, He's added the counter-attack, and it's ferocious when it works. But there's no plan B. But also, I feel like this is it. Like, I feel like he's hit his ceiling as a manager. Like, him getting Champions League football is very good for the club. And I feel as though that's also his ceiling. Like, he could probably, if he stays next season, he probably could get Champions League again. And I think if United fans are happy just to be in the Champions League for bants, laugh at other teams that didn't make it, all that type of foolishness, then, it's all good, isn't it? Like, he can stay for another season or two and all that. But I think he showed us what he's on in them big games. Like, when it comes to winning trophies, because let's face it as well, if you look at, apart from losing to City in the Carabao Cup the last 2 seasons, we've lost to teams that we should have beaten. We should have beaten Sevilla, Villarreal, Leicester. Like, that's my
only problem just now.
The only thing with them, those teams, they just had better managers than us. That's what it was. They didn't have better players. They just had better gaffer. And that's what got them over the line. And I just thought that's all it is, because I'm not really I'm not gonna come on and attack him and say like he's this and that. Like he's a club legend, isn't it? I've got respect for him because he's done a lot for our club, and even he's brought back the positive atmosphere in the dressing room. He's given guys confidence. He's brought back some of the standards as well to the club, like wearing your suits to games. I know that sounds dumb, but they're big things. They're important things to have for a team. But I just feel like if it comes to trophies, I can't see him winning us anything.
Yeah, that's my only doubt that I have now because of the game, the Leicester game, and in the final, what's happened. It's made me question him now. Like, even though I'm not saying I want him sacked, because I don't, I do want to, like, I still feel like he deserves another season. Do you know what I mean? You know, we finished second, there has been progress, but if we don't get the players we want and we manage to get to another semi-final, quarter semis or final, I just feel like he's going to make another mistake and we might come up short again. That's my problem.
Because I'm not see with him here. I don't hold him to some unrealistic standards. Like we just ripped apart half the squad, innit? Like we know half the squad's not good enough, but we were good. We had enough to beat Villarreal. We had enough to beat the teams that we've just named, innit? And that's my problem with him is that we probably couldn't get second place with him. Not second because I think Liverpool will be back, Chelsea will be stronger, But I just feel like when it comes to them games. You know,
the Leicester one. The more I think about it, just the Leicester one really bothered me though, because
100%,
I don't understand like if I remember correctly, we didn't have a game for
we didn't even need to rotate. No.
We didn't even need to rotate. So that's what pissed me off the most, to be honest. I thought we could have given FA Cup a good go, and he just changed the squad. And again, like we were saying early, Donny's not played. He's threw him in. He's had a few minutes here and there, and all of a sudden he's got to play against Leicester. It's crazy.
And then that's one of my other issues with him this season is he's played loads of guys out of position for no reason whatsoever. He knows playing Rashford continuously on the right, in games doesn't work. He's played Van der Beek on the wing. Playing Pogba on the wing, I know people said it kind of works sometimes. I'm not having it. I just think Pogba's a quality player, so he's made things happen regardless of where he is on the pitch.
Of course,
that's all I think it is. And that brings me to the style of play thing. I don't think there's real identity or a style of play. Apart from the counter attack, I feel like a lot of the goals we score is just individual moments. So a Bruno or a Mason will cut in and whip something bins. Same with Rashford, or Cavani will be on the shoulder and crosses are coming in and he'll get a goal. But I don't see a goal and think, oh, that's a Man United goal, or there's any build up. But not just from an attacking point of view, it's also defensively. We're not set up properly. Because I know everyone talks about a Pep team for how they go forward, but you can also see a Pep team in the way they defend and get the ball back.
Of course,
so it's as soon as the ball breaks, Fernandinho is going to stop someone. He might get a booking, might not, but he's stopping it from happening.
Yeah.
You know where they're
does try that.
He tries it, he tries it. And we just concede too many goals. So and there's a goal I noticed. It comes from I'm not blaming Luke Shaw because he's had a good season, but I feel like he gets left open by himself a lot.
Yeah.
And crosses coming from that side. And we get isolated with just our defenders, and we're always conceding that type of goal. So that tells me if we're conceding the same type of goal, what are you lot working on? What are you doing in training? What's actually happening? I know there's been bad rumours.
Yeah, you say that, but I've noticed that about Wan-Bissaka sometimes. As great as he is one-on-one as well, I feel like positionally sometimes he's just way off. I'm like, bro, and we're getting exposed, there's a through ball that will get played down that do you know what I mean? Because he's out of position, then so I feel that with both centre backs, both areas. All right, obviously sometimes it's good football, you know what I mean, they've just been done, but certain times I just think positionally, definitely across the back, I want to say we're getting better, but we like you're saying we still concede too many goals. I feel we still concede too many goals.
And like I was touching on earlier with the playing out from the back, yeah, I know everyone wants to do it, but it's got to be coached. And if it's not coached, yeah, it just looks like
a mess,
panic stations. And we've conceded so many goals from playing out from the back, and it just tells me, I don't know. I don't think it's been coached properly. Maybe he's seen other teams do it, and he's thinking, okay, let's do it because everyone else is doing this. Because surely by now, especially with Lindelof and Fred in front or McTominay, whoever's there. Surely you've seen by now, and David De Gea as well, because he's also not good at it too. Surely you've seen by now that this doesn't work, and we should just get on the pitch, clear our lines, and play.
Yeah.
But we persist with it. We concede goals from it, and the whole point of playing out from the back is you're supposed to actually build play up and actually score from it or create chances. We never do that.
But do you know what? I think that's just footy now. You know, that's what it's so. That's just what I feel what football is now. Like most of the teams are, you know, trying to do it. You're right, it has to be coached, but I feel like it's very rare you just see, unless the goalkeeper's under pressure, you see them just put it down, fly it up the pitch. Like it doesn't really happen that much.
Yeah,
like everyone's
even like
go on.
Yeah, no, but even just like you don't have to go like route one. You can hit the wingers. They're wide. Just try and hit someone. Yeah. You know, not like, okay, Lindelof looks like, I know he doesn't want it, but let me give it to him anyway. And then, you know, but I just feel like, yeah, with all the things I said, I think, yeah, he could scrape top 4 again next season. Teams look like they're going to be stronger. But I think that's his ceiling, man. And he's not a young coach. It's not like, oh, he gets given that talk sometimes. He's 48. He's not young. So this is, I think he's at his ceiling.
Yeah. And it's because he hasn't coached anywhere else, has he, really?
No, it's just Mulder and that. Like, Man United reserves, Cardiff, got relegated with them. Like, he's not good enough, man. And you have to look at it, honestly, I don't even like saying this because I respect him as a player, yeah. But if he never played for us, he would have never got the job.
I was going to just ask the question.
Yeah, that's the truth. Like,
he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have. Honestly,
never got the job.
No chance.
Never got the job.
No chance.
Never got the job. You know? And really, without managing us, obviously he's had a few good seasons. Like he wouldn't have got a job in the Prem.
No,
at any other team.
No,
maybe not even the
I don't even think he would have got Championship, bro.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So we can't. How can we can't have someone like that in charge of a club like us in the long term? But
okay, quickly before you go, so who would you want then? Who would you take then?
Might as well go, Deej. You're taking my question.
Sorry, bro. Sorry. who would you go then?
Do you know what's mad? Yeah? There's been different guys at different times that we've been linked with that would have done a better job in certain aspects of things I said. I wouldn't have minded Pochettino at the time. Obviously, he's not available anymore. Bielsa's done a great job at Leeds.
Yeah,
I'll take Bielsa. I think he would be great for the players that we got, and he would improve a lot of the players that we've got that are not that good, and he will get them to play like obviously better football.
Yeah, that's one. Bielsa.
Yeah, maybe. Do you know a left field one? Obviously, it might sound a bit mad. I like Graham Potter as well. You know.
Yeah.
I like Graham Potter, man. He's got Brighton playing ball. It's just that.
Yeah, he has.
They're just Brighton. That's the thing. They just don't have the players because some of the amount of chances that they create in games is crazy, but they just don't put them away.
Yeah.
And this is why these are the kind of when I'm watching Brighton play or I'm watching Leeds, I'm watching like Luke Ayling and that Brighton are balling with a how tall's that the left back? What's his name?
About 7'5".
He's like 7'5", but they're playing out and they're playing ball.
He's flying up and down.
So if that these teams with these players can play, why can't we play? Like why can't we build up like phases of play?
Yeah.
So and that's why I'm not having sometimes like give him time because sometimes it feels like we're just wasting time. Because the more seasons we have in charge, we're just going to fall further and further behind of actually building something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Last question from me before we actually do wrap up. If you were to mark the season out of 10, what would you give it?
That's gonna sound mad.
7.5.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say 6.5, but so /7. Because you can't say any worse than that because we actually finished second, and I'll be a madman if I said anything otherwise. But for that to get the 8s, the 9s, or the 10s, you have to have won trophies. So
that Europa League defeat was damning.
Yeah, it was.
It was. Yeah. Because like I said earlier, the quarterfinal against Leicester, that's a joke. I'm sorry, we didn't even need to rest players. We had like 4 games. We didn't play for 4 games. Something mad like that. That was just a joke. Yeah, that's what I give.
Very, very intriguing conversation. It could have gone on for ages, to be fair. And it's great to obviously discuss the club that you love so dearly. And as an outsider, it's great to hear how you view how your club's being run and how you think the club's going to be run in the future and stuff. So, thanks for coming on. What I want you to do now, actually, Jess, if you just shout out, I know you got a podcast, shout out your podcast.
Yeah, man. Play to the Whistle podcast on Spotify, Apple Music. Pretty similar, like we just discussed football, innit? Talk about the Premier League, different teams, touch on Europe sometimes as well. We're going to be covering the Euros through the summer. So you man can jump on if you want to come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Play to the Whistle podcast.
Yeah.
Follow it on Twitter as well, right?
Yeah, at PTTW podcast.
Yeah. Message me all the links to your pods and stuff and the Twitter and stuff. I'll put them in the description.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks.
Shout out your modelling agency.
Yeah. That's the shout out my modelling agency. You give me jokes. Now, thanks for having me though, Rich.
No, it's been a pleasure. Yeah. Guys, this was Eagle Eyed Football. Like, share, subscribe, comment if you agree or disagree with what the lads have said. Have your say. This is a fan forum for everyone. So yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Nice one, boys.
Cheers, man. Peace, man.
Peace.